like I said I was going to do, I just cut the end off of the power steering pump line, bam, and then just welded one of these little 6AN boys to the end. It'll go back up in there, and then we'll just run a hose from that to the Holly pump, and we'll have our power steering. Pretty much, I need a return. I'll have to push that in too, but done. Okay, homies, I just wanted to show you this. So when I put this line back together, the return, the one I welded on, it just leaked, and it leaked, and it leaked. And I thought it was the fitting, as most people do. Being a guy that sells fitting, I hear this a lot. And it had me scratching my head because I replaced the fitting and it still leaked. And I was like, what's going on here? So I ended up pulling it off and taking a real close look. And as you can see, there's the arc struck out on the back of this. And this happens to people. So if you're not paying attention, like I was not paying attention here, as I was welding around the back of the line, it arced on the sealing surface. You'll see that as an AN fitting, that 37-degree flare there at the very top. That's where your sill's made. And if there's anything going on there's that sill, not the threads, not the outside of the threads, not the vertical part of the threads, not the inside, not the very top, but that 37-degree slant right there is what makes the sill on these guys. So I ended up having to cut this guy off and welding a new one on there, and had to pay a little bit of attention to what I was doing to make sure we didn't have that happen. But this happens a lot on a lot of people's projects, because especially with like aluminum, stuff like that, well, you hit one side of the your metal, your work piece, with however many amps. Let's say I welded this guy out with 60, 80 amps, because I always weld hot, and that amps has got to go somewhere. Once it goes in, that electricity through that part has got to find its way to a ground. A lot of times you'll see the copper. I think you guys have seen that in my videos. I have a little copper plate, and that keeps a lot of that down. It just provides a better ground, and we don't have these little strikes that happen. But if you guys are having a problem with a leaky fitting, it's just something to think about if you're doing some welding on these guys. Nirvana, Lake of Fire, wildly underrated. Great song. You should go listen to it. Yep, so right there, and it kind of goes down around. Yeah, and our pump's right here, so we'll just do a like 45 and zap it on there, and then we just gotta trim this guy, or actually you don't have to trim it much, and just pop it right on, and there we go. There we go. And I just got the heat shield guy kind of knocked out here. It works good. It's gonna keep the hoses back here protected, the brake line and the fuel hose. I just need to do a bit of hammering right about now, just to get it, so it doesn't look like it'll hit, but it might. So we'll just do a little more clearance in, and that'll keep us fully protected. Our only one really close spot that we got, yeah, with the wires and stuff. Hopefully you guys can see all that, and yeah, pretty happy with that. So one more thing knocked out. See, I've come to this reality that I can't do anything without a light and reading glasses. It's sad. I finally gotten to the age where I have the tools assembled that I need to do the things that I enjoy, which I strived for since I was probably 12 years old. And now I don't have the vision to enjoy it. So, I don't know. I think I might sit down and make a list of things to do, so I can start kind of getting detailed. I'd also swapped out the alternator boy, so the salvage motor we had 130 amp, and the Holly only came with 100 amps, so why not take free 30 amps? So we threw that guy on there, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna sit down and maybe make a list at some point and actually gain some valuable time. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll grab a pen and paper, some Copenhagen. Special guests today. Boy, that light's bad, huh? Bob's extra gimpy today. Bob, did you hurt your foot, buddy? You're going after Mom's vegetables, huh? You're going after those vegetables behind the chicken wire. And the chicken wire got you, didn't it, Bob? Didn't it? Sometimes you gotta let that hard to reach stuff go, buddy. All right, humans, YouTube's peoples, this is, I erased all of my notes from reading, and this is a list of everything we need to do to finish up the Volvo wagon. I honestly feel like doing none of this. But we're gonna keep going anyway. Yeah, don't worry about my spelling, grammar, punctuation. I don't. Alright, the great thing about having a list, the list, is that when you don't want to work and you're out there forcing yourself to do something, at least you can cherry pick. You can go through the list and be like, ah, this looks easy. And then as you knock out some of the easy stuff, then maybe you'll start feeling like, oh yeah, maybe now I'm in the mood. Sometimes you gotta get in the mood. Sometimes the mood comes on slow, boys and girls. You gotta work on it. Anyway, we got the drive shaft. Can you guys see this? All right, this guy is here. What we do is we throw it in, and then we pull it out. They say about a half. I'm going through 3/4 of an inch to see on the safe side. You guys see that? Pull this guy out a little bit, and you got a circle here. And that's what we need to know, is like from this circle to the circle in the back of the drive shaft, which is right up here. Right up is what does it need to be? What's the distance? So what you want to do is you give yourself a little, you'd rather be a little bit too short than a little bit too long, because you don't want your drive shaft smashing into the back of the train. Now, the bearing is here. It has a bearing carrier. It's 2-piece. All the movement in the axle and this is pretty much transmitted to the back of the drive shaft. So this stuff will move up and down. This stuff will stay relatively stationary. So it's not on this 2-piece. It's not like it's going to be like a 1-piece and getting, you know, kind of in and out constantly. It'll probably stay relatively where it's at, kind of set in place. But we measured this, and we need to go to, you guys see it? Can you see it? 20 1/4 from the, I'll show you. Let me pull it out, back out, and I'll show you. That way you'll know. Like, what do I do? How do I do this? Oh. So let's pull out this guy. Big old heavy drive shaft guy. All right. So we know we need to go from here to here. Doot, doot. And that is what needs to be 20 1/4 inch. And we'll just take this guy to the drive shaft shop. We got one. We'll go to the same place that did the drive shaft on the old Phoenix, because they did a great job for me. And we'll take them the yoke here, and have those guys pull this apart, weld in whatever size this guy is. I'm not sure if it's the, what do they call it, 50, 51, or they got some kind of crazy designation, 10, 50, 50, 10, I don't know. But they'll need to weld one, they'll need to cut this guy down. So from here to wherever this guy is going to land, it's going to equal 20 1/4. So they'll cut this guy back for that. I'll have them put a new bearing, have them replace all of these guys with the best stuff they got, and balance it, and it'll be bam. The drive shaft will be done, and we'll be ready to transmit power up into the Wago, the old gringo. So that only took like a second. We can package that up and get it down there. Or just keep going down the list.